A month has gone by, and Lily was starting to eat mushed up food. She was soon gonna start growing teeth within a couple of months. Although help hasn't arrived yet, Dipper and his family agreed to never go into the forbidden part of the island again. And to this day, they kept their promise to never go there. Wendy was on her own exploring the island, keeping an eye out for any sight of danger. As she climbed a rocky terranean hill, she could see the whole ocean at top. She looked around to see a ship heading towards the island. At first she was anxious but excited that she saw a ship. She grabbed her binoculars and looked through them. The ship containing her friends from Gravity Falls. There was Seuss, Robbie, Manly Dan, and many of their other friends on the ship. "Guys! Guys!" Wendy screamed with joy as she ran down to the hut on shore. Dipper lightened up the signal. He, along with Pacifica and Mabel, also saw the ship and got excited to finally see a ship. As Wendy got there, she saw that Mabel was holding her niece in a towel. "I saw a ship! It has Seuss, Robbie, and my dad, and all of our other friends from Gravity Falls." "I know! I saw them through my binoculars," Pacifica explained. "Let's go grab our things to carry back home, like our stuff from the cruise ship," Mabel added, handing Wendy her daughter Lily. "We're finally gonna get out of here, Wendy. I knew that this day was gonna come," Dipper said. Then he could see Seuss and Manly Dan parking their lifeboats on the shore. They saw their friends and carrying their stuff on the boat. Wendy had gotten her and Dipper's things together. Even Spock the Falcon helped too. Once they loaded a lifeboat that contained Robbie and Tambry there, they rowed the lifeboat back to the ship where they came from. "Can Spock come back with us?" Dipper asked Wendy. "I guess he can. He'll just have to be released in Gravity Falls though. They're wild birds, remember? But we can get a pet too when we get back home," Wendy answered Dipper's question. Then they'll all cleaned out their huts before heading back to the lifeboats. "Seuss, we thought you gave up on finding us," Mabel said, excited to see Seuss. "We have never given up. Almost every month we search on the sea to find you all. When we heard about the cruise ship, we all had to find out if you were still somewhere. We didn't give up though. Thanks to some of the wreck of the cruise ship, we found this island," Seuss explained. "Why did it take you months to find us?" Dipper questioned. "Most people gave up on finding you guys, assuming you were all dead, but we didn't, so we kept on looking," Seuss replied. "Wendy, oh my god, I'm so glad to see you again," Manly Dan said, hugging Wendy. "I thought I lost my only girl." "I knew you'd find me, Dad. I'm glad you didn't give up," Wendy replied. Then Manly Dan took notice of Lily. It then hit him that Wendy had a baby on the island, meaning that he was now a grandfather. "And I have a granddaughter now. Seeing as you had a baby on the island, it makes me even more like a proud grandpa," Manly Dan said, holding his granddaughter carefully in his arms. "Just be sure you support the back of her neck," Wendy reminded her father. "I'm glad we're going home," Pacifica said to Mabel, hugging her girlfriend. "I'm glad too. Want to go on a bar date at home?" Mabel asked Pacifica out. "Sure, Mabel. The drink's on me, girl," Pacifica replied, kissing Mabel's cheek. "Who's the Falcon's name?" Seuss asked, seeing Spock sitting on his shoulder. "That's Spock. He's one of our bird companions on the island. He saved Mabel's life when she stepped on a stonefish. We'll explain the whole story on the ship," Wendy answered. "We're glad you're all okay and safe," Manly Dan said, seeing that the hut that they had built with Grunkle Stan's help. "Someone else may get stuck on this island and see what you guys did, and they could take over the hut, even learn about what you guys did to survive. Let's go home now, and we'll tell you the whole story on the way back," Wendy replied, as she and her family got to the lifeboats with Spock, heading back to Oregon. After 2 weeks of returning to Gravity Falls, Wendy and Dipper moved into the Mystery Shack, turning one of the bedrooms into Lily's room. It was tiring to make one of the bedrooms into the baby's room, but it was so good to finally be back home. It was night where Mabel and Pacifica were out on a date, leaving Wendy and Dipper to look after their daughter. It's so good to be finally home. I was missing this place ever since walking in here for the first time in about a year, Wendy said, feeding her daughter with some baby food. We've been on this island for a year, Wendy? Are you sure? Dipper asked. I think so. I must have lost track of the days, Wendy replied. May 12th will be the day that Lily was born. Pacifica said that. We will never forget Lily's first birthday. It will be in a year from now, Dipper said, as Wendy headed upstairs to put Lily in her crib in bed. Dipper sighed as he looked outside of the mystery shack, missing the falcon that helped them save Mabel's life. Ever since returning to Gravity Falls, they had to set Spock free into the wild. He may have a mate and a family of his own by now. The memories of the island always flash and go for Dipper, but the native tribe at the forbidden part of the jungle will always haunt him from time to time. The birth of Lily, however, was a blessing to him and Wendy. Knowing that Lily and Wendy had no complications before and after childbirth was a good sign, as that can happen to any woman and or child. When Wendy came back downstairs, she sat beside Dipper on the couch. Lily's sleeping right now, and since it's 8:30, what do you want to do for dinner? Wendy asked her husband. I'm not sure, Wendy. I know Mabel and Pacifica have gone out on a date. Why don't we order takeout? We'll eat it here as Lily is asleep, Dipper said. What do you feel like eating tonight? Wendy asked. How about something from the diner? Dipper suggested. Oh yeah! That place is open until 11 p.m. I can do that. What would you like? Wendy asked again. How about a cheeseburger meal with fries and a root beer? Dipper suggested. I'll get the same too, with extra cheese in it, Wendy said, getting the car keys and getting her coat on, seeing that the night was a tad chilly outside. I'll go order and pick it up there. You can look after Lily while I'm gone. Sounds like a plan, Wendy. Can we have any more kids? Dipper asked Wendy before opening the door to leave. Maybe when Lily is a year or two older. We could discuss it more about it beforehand, Wendy said, heading out of the mystery shack. The whole night was peaceful, and Dipper had to go through on the island. The nights, though, was mainly sleeping with Wendy with their baby. The sleepless nights at first were hard, but he got used to it over time. Lily was sleeping peacefully during the duration of the time Wendy was out. When Wendy came back from picking up dinner, they had a nice dinner date at home. The island was a big adventure, but it was also a fun one at the same time. They sure still miss Grunkle Stan, but they'll never forget him, even till the day they die. Someday when Lily was older, Dipper and Wendy will tell their story of how their parents got stuck on the island with their aunts, and even someday Lily may follow in her mother's footsteps.